Welcome all to yet another E3 trailer watch. Here with, my name is Ian, we got 0HP, we're doing Battlefield 1. We've seen quite a bit from Battlefield already, especially since we're already over a week past E3. So most of you have probably seen this, but I wanted to break it down and go through my with my history glasses that I wear. A lot of people really enjoyed the kind of historical breakdown that we did of the when the Battlefield 1 was originally announced. Kevin and I did that. Got a lot of views, a lot of discussion, great discussion. It was really nice and refreshing and rewarding to see that. So I'd love to maybe kick that up again. We'll see. Now this is pretty short. It's 2 minutes, so I'm just going to watch it through, and then we'll back it up and pace through it. So let's go ahead and check this out.
You're gonna get us all killed! Edward's behind! Edwards! We can't change the world.
Oh. Oh, okay, I see what they're doing.
Play it first on Xbox One with EA Access.
Oh, all right. Well, that was actually really impressive. Clearly, the EA execs got some influence here with the music choice. They were thinking that no one had ever heard of World War One, or that kids like between 12 and 18 or whatever didn't even know that World War One happened. I don't even want to go into that. They probably have some data that backs that up. It doesn't really surprise me. There's a lot of fucking idiots in the world, in this country especially. But the reason I said that it seems like the execs got some influence is they're playing whatever the fuck that shit is in the background. We're gonna change in the world. Like, just stop with the... I mean, Assassin's Creed movie trailer did that. They threw Kanye West in there. That doesn't fit. That's completely out of sync with what's on screen. Okay, this is the First World War. Just stick with the ba-bum bum ba-bum bum, the classic Battlefield. Maybe put some really powerful, orchestral writing in there. We don't need hip hop or rock or fucking country. Get the modern music out of here. I understand you're trying to force feed the fact that, look, it's not old, it's new, it's hip. Look, this guy's saying changing the world, no pain, no gain. It's just so EA. It's so corporate. Like, they just are just absolutely out of touch in that sense. But I'll stop bitching about that. Let's actually take a look at the trailer. So right off the bat here, we have these German troops who are trying to get into this tank. So this looks like it's part of the gameplay. Part of the storyline. Maybe a campaign, a mission where you're playing as an English... in one of the early English tank divisions. They're early for tanks, but they were relatively late in the war. So these must be some of our characters, because this guy here...
You're gonna get us all killed!
They're trying to get the bird out of there. Ooh. So we saw him in the first trailer. So I'm assuming that these are some of the main characters. Now, there was an interview talking about how, we will get multiple perspectives, which makes sense. I mean, there's not going to be one guy who's just bouncing all over the world. So we're going to get multiple perspectives, kind of like some of the older Call of Duty games where you had, you played as a Russian and an American and a British guy. So I love that idea. I haven't seen really any French involvement in this game, which is weird, given that France was probably the biggest player on the Allies in the First World War, really. At least in terms of numbers, France had, for the Allies, had more men on the front lines on the Western Front and around the world than any other country, to my knowledge. I mean, well, not more men. The Russians had the most men by far. But that's just out of pure... I think if you were to go per capita, France had the most, based on their population, a larger percent of their people were fighting. They really gave it all. That's just why they didn't really do anything in the Second World War. They didn't really recover the same way that Britain and Germany did. So anyway, not to get off on tangents here, let's go ahead and keep watching. British biplane is so cool. This battle over the Zeppelin. Oh, God, that music is so bad. But check out this German tank here. This does look like it's in no man's land. I can't quite tell from the clip here. That does look like an Enfield, which is one of the best rifles really in modern military history. I think most people who are knowledgeable in historical weapons would agree with that statement. One of the most reliable, most powerful, most accurate weapons. These look like... these could be doughboys, and that could be an Enfield. It's hard for me to tell. It's very blurry. I think they're British troops, Expeditionary Force. And this looks like no man's land. There's a French tank on our right here. On the right, to the right of those trees. I don't believe you can see my mouse. I've been watching some of these videos, and I'm like trying to circle things with my cursor, and for some reason, the YouTube is blocking the cursor. So if it seems like I'm talking about something specific, and you're like, "What are you talking about, dude?" I'm using this cursor. But on the right side of the screen, there's a French tank there. I don't remember the name of them. I apologize. So we've got a German tank's going to bust through to the left of the trees here as these British troops are advancing up into no man's land. Oh, that bayonet. Boom! Now, I can't tell what weapon he's stabbing him with. It looks like that's a Sten gun. Very interesting. That's a Sten. It looks like a Sten, which is a British submachine gun. It was much more widely used in the Second World War. That's okay. They need to take some liberties here to get people who don't know anything about anything interested in the game, and it helps. It helps with the varied gameplay. I mean, if you just have a bunch of bolt action rifles, it's not really that fun. So I get that. Got a bayonet on the end of a Sten gun. Now, interestingly enough, the Sten gun has the clip on the side like that. If you can see, he's holding the clip, and there's actually a drum to the left. So I don't recognize that at all. So it could just be some ignorance on my part. Very interesting. I'm curious to see what they end up calling that. It could be attachments. Like this could be multiplayer for all we know. Maybe that's an attachment for the Sten and an extended mag in the form of a drum at the end of that clip there. So, ooh, oh man, these shots are so good. They're so short. Let me go back a little bit. So clearly, Africa. I mean, you can't get much more obvious than that. Now this looks like a French submachine gun. God, I can't. The Chetzel or I can't remember the name. I'm sorry, guys. I'm drawing blanks. It's kind of late tonight. Kettle or Chetzel. It starts with a CH, and it has that curved mag that comes out the top of the weapon. Now he's holding it, which you could definitely do. And that looks like a French tank here just to the right of the clip. It's a British plane above us. You can tell by the spot, the circle. That's Royal Air Force. And oh man, this could be any. I think this is in Egypt. Now, the British fought the Turks in Egypt when they were attempting to attack the Suez Canal, and the British repelled their attack very handily, because as the Turkish army was marching for a surprise attack, they didn't take into account that the British had planes, and the British had scout planes flying all around, and they saw this army head their way, and were like, hey, they're coming, and so they were just completely prepared and just demolished the Turkish army in that battle. Now, the Turks would get their revenge at Gallipoli, which I hope we see in this campaign. One of the most horrific battles probably ever. I mean, it's hard to say. All war is terrible, but Gallipoli was something else. So anyway, we'll go ahead and continue. Now here, this looks like France. Now look, it's not always trench warfare. Look at this. This could be in Belgium, France. Well, that's really it, because these are definitely British troops. Absolutely, these are British Expeditionary Force troops. Well, actually, look at that gun, though. The sight looks like a Mauser, a German rifle. But it could be more customization. They're running into either a Belgium or a French village here. I can't see where they're being shot at from, but it looks so cool. It looks so cool. It looks like to be further in this mission, same village. We've got, that could be a Lewis, though. Lewis have the classic round barrel. I might just not recognize this weapon, but I mean, I'm assuming it's some kind of Lewis machine gun. And again, they might be taking liberties, but there's some Germans there. That's really cool. I wonder if you can use these artillery pieces, like wheel them around. That would be awesome. And it's destructible environments. Is that what we're seeing right now? Pretty interesting. And there's a shotgun, trench gun. That was actually an American weapon that was used more, but you know, hey, whatever. Firing that artillery tank there. Now there's that, looks like that Sten gun with the big extended drum there. Interesting. Making sure it's still here. Oh, run right into the tank. Now, right here, for a second I got excited because this helmet is an Adrian helmet. That's a French helmet. But if you look, and that looks like a French tank. But if you look around, this looks like the Alps. So what I think this is the Italian Austro-Hungarian front, because the Italians also wore these Adrian helmets. I don't know if they used the same tanks as the French or if they had similar tanks maybe. But this looks like the Alps to me. It could be, you know, because Italy invaded Austria-Hungary. I believe it was 1916. Yeah, 1916, which is about halfway through the war. So they invaded, if Austria is east of Italy, that the Alps stretch across that section. So there was a really tough fight in the mountains. It was really rugged terrain, and just bloody warfare in the mountains between those two nations. So I think that's what this theater is. So it's pretty cool. I mean, if that's true, we know we get both an Italian faction and an Austro-Hungarian faction, which is cool because I was worried that we might just see, British, French, and German, which is fine. But like we got that in the Second World War games. Let's show people the Austria-Hungaries and the Italy and the Russia and French. We actually don't have to play French in games, so I hope we see French. But that eastern side and those middle fronts and the Turkish and the southern, I mean, it truly was a world war. It fought all over the world. So let's go ahead and move on. Yeah, that's so cool. I can't wait to fight this place. I hope it's not as hard as the Muslim Battlefield. I'm a terrible pilot. Oh, that's so bad. Yes, so that guy, he's got kind of a turban thing going on. Now, it could just be like the way he has his mask secured to his head. But if that is a turban, then that is a Turk. So in which case, the person he's killing, he looks German, which makes no fucking sense. So this might not be a Turk. It could be Indian, because there were the British Empire. This was still in the time where the British Empire was the British Empire. They owned India, and a lot of Indians died as British soldiers in this war. So it could be an Indian colonial soldier killing a German. That's what I'm going to go with for now. Now, back on the Western Front, we got these British troops. All these dogfights. Artillery! I wonder how they're going to put artillery. I think these are British as well, sort of like Lawrence of Arabia guys.
Play it first on Xbox One with
EA
EA
after
Access.
A train, so who knows what that's about? But there it is, guys. This has been another E3 trailer watch. Let me know, of course. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think of Battlefield 1? They've confirmed 64-player battles. I, for one, am so extremely excited. It's one of my number one games, most anticipated games coming out this year. I'm such a passionate, learned. Well, I'm not learned yet. I always want to learn more. But World War I is just is right there. It's one of my favorite times in human history to study. So I really want to hear what you guys have to think, have to say. I want to know what you think by hearing or reading what you have to say. And I guess we'll catch you on yet another video as we keep pouring these suckers out. All right, guys. Thanks for watching Zero HP. Later.